thousands of people witnessing history in person. A group of students from San Diego. Needless to say, their excitement was overwhelming.
NBC7's Artie Ojeda spoke with them, and he joins us now to tell us what they thought about the whole thing. Artie?
All right, Catherine and Christine, overwhelming is the one word all of them are using. Throughout the weekend, we've been in contact with the students from La Jolla Country Day. They have been nice enough to stay in contact and send us pictures of their historic trip. This is first thing this morning, the sunrise in Washington, D.C. By that time, you can see hundreds of thousands had already packed the mall. And let's face it, it was fun, but it was also grueling. There are about 50 students in all from San Diego tied to this group of AP government students. They're also documenting their trip as part of a project called Teens Across Time. So they've been interviewing people, getting thoughts from others at the ceremony. Now, just a short time ago, I was able to talk to several of the students by telephone and just ask them for their heartfelt reaction to what they had just witnessed.
Being around an atmosphere of so much hope and happiness, to be celebrating something so monumental like this, when knowing it's not just the people around me, but the rest of the country and the rest of the world watching.
Overwhelming. It was just being here for the first time and just having all these people here for one reason, see the transition of democracy that happens every 4 to 8 years.
The students say it's one thing to read about inaugurations in a textbook, but it is a whole different scene, certainly, when you are able to witness history in person. Coming up in the news at 5, we will hear more from the students. I asked them what the most memorable moment of the day was. What stuck out? You might be surprised by their answers. Catherine?
Okay, we'll look forward to hearing. Watched as he did exactly that at the inauguration.
Among them, a group of students from San Diego, and NBC7's Artie Ojeda is here with their reaction. They had to be so excited.
Oh, absolutely. Throughout the weekend, we have actually stayed in contact with the group from La Jolla Country Day. I spoke with them by phone just a short time ago. One of them told me it was overwhelming, sensory overload, but worth every second.
That I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States.
It's one thing to read about a presidential inauguration in a high school textbook, quite another to be there in person.
There's nothing like being there and witnessing history. I mean, there really is.
Among those witnessing history from San Diego, a group of students from La Jolla Country Day. These are some of the pictures that make up the field trip of a lifetime. They say the trip has inspired their sense of civic duty. But when asked about the one moment that sticks out, their answer had nothing to do with the president being sworn in.
Seeing people like Sotomayor and Hillary Clinton, who are honestly my biggest inspirations, watching them walk in, I think, for myself, I hope to go into politics. So seeing these strong women who are representing the country is really amazing, and that sticks out. That'll always stick out to me.
For AP government student Alex Garcia, the moment the president addressed specific social issues is what he'll remember the most.
When he directly said about gay rights issues that I strongly believe that, gays are equal and they should be able to get married. I thought that was like the most straightforward answer I've heard in a while about him on that issue, and I think that meant a lot to me.
The students have been documenting their trip with photos and video as part of a project called Teens Across Time, a real-life look at government and civic duty. And the teacher says it's been such a blast watching the kids, walk around a city so different than San Diego. It's almost like they're in Disneyland.
Yeah.
And he said, and I love this, everything they talk about in the classroom comes to life.
Yes.
Much different than reading about it in a textbook.
Even cold temperatures, right?
This is true.
All right, thanks.
Very cool. Thanks, Artie.
Well, music was a big part of students who were in D.C. for that inauguration.
And our Stephen Look joins us with an interesting look at what Mitt Romney was doing in San Diego today when the president was being sworn in. We're going to get started with Artie.
Catherine, call it the field trip of a lifetime for a group of about 50 students from San Diego. Their teacher said it was like seeing everything we talk about in the classroom come to life. Throughout the weekend, we have stayed in touch with several students from La Jolla Country Day. They have been sending us pictures from this historic day. It's been fun, but also grueling. After all, how do you like to be in the middle of 700,000 people? The trip is part of their AP government class, and it includes a special project they're working on called Teens Across Time. Students have been interviewing people involved in government and others who are simply witnessing history. After the presidential parade, I asked the overwhelmed students and their teacher by phone what it was like to be a part of history.
It's just an extraordinary thing. This is only the 57th time it's happened in the history of the United States. And to be able to take your students there, and witness it with them, and be a part of history, be a part of a moment.
Being around an happiness to be celebrating something so monumental like this, when knowing it's not just the people around me, but the rest of the country and the rest of the world watching.
Can't get that kind of experience from a textbook, that's for sure. Now, a lot of San Diegans made the trip to Washington, including one of our own. Check it out. Danya Backus was right.